We are following breaking news on a story we brought you at the top of the show. Jimmy Kimmel will return to his late night show tomorrow. That is according to a statement just released by the Walt Disney Company. Kimmel, as you know, was suspended last week following comments about the death of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. NBC News correspondent Liz Kreutz is back with us. Liz, what did the Disney Company say in this statement?
Yeah, Kate, I mean, we're getting this statement now 5 days after they suspended Jimmy Kimmel, and they have been silent since they made that announcement on Wednesday. And now we have a statement from the Walt Disney Company. They say last Wednesday, we made the decision to suspend production on the show to avoid further inflaming a tense situation at an emotional moment for our country. It is a decision we made because we felt some of the comments were ill-timed and thus insensitive. We have spent the last days having thoughtful conversations with Jimmy, and after those conversations, we have reached the decision to return the show on Tuesday. So Jimmy Kimmel will be back on the air, Kate. The big question will be, what does he say tomorrow night? Does he issue an apology?
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Moderate Republican here with news from the world of Disney. That's right. The happiest place on earth has just announced that Jimmy Kimmel will be returning to ABC as if he hasn't missed a beat, starting Tuesday, tomorrow night. That's right. President Trump clapping and clouding and exciting and showing the White House showing happiness that they thought they canceled Jimmy Kimmel because of what relatively is a very innocent statement that really amounted to nothing. Didn't age too well. Jimmy Kimmel is back on ABC, and I can tell you right now, if his ratings weren't going to be hot, they're going to be hot on Tuesday night. Everyone, and I mean everyone, including the president himself and all those that was cheering his success on Jimmy Kimmel being pulled off the air, will be watching to see what Jimmy has to say. Check it out. Stay tuned, and don't let that dementia set in. Hit that follow, subscribe button, and let you know when I drop my next video. But welcome back, Jimmy. See y'all soon.
Jimmy Kimmel will be back on air tomorrow, so let's go over some things that I've learned during this whole thing. Number one, censorship is here and has been here for a while, and this administration will not let this go. And Trump is about to go off and say some crazy things about la la la. This is just the beginning. Number two, not only do boycotts work, but they definitely work when you have people of power joining them. All these celebrities that spoke up, you know you can do more on different topics. Look what happened. Number three, tomorrow will probably be the highest ratings Jimmy Kimmel or maybe any late night show will have, because I know I'm watching. Some of you will wonder if you should re-download your Disney Plus or Hulu app, and I'm not going to tell you what to do. That's up to you. We are definitely going to look back at this time in years and maybe months later and go, how silly, how stupid that everything was, and how the First Amendment apparently only applies to certain other people. Not lost on me that it had to be Jimmy Kimmel, a white man, in a position of power for us to actually make some change. So again, you know, if you're in a position of power, especially if you're not a minority, you know how much you can affect the system and you can make change, and you should be doing it. And the last is the same way we all rallied around Jimmy Kimmel because we knew it was wrong. We need to do that for other marginalized people, countries, and movements.
Because America had such an uproar, people. Disney was getting so many unsubscribers. People were cutting their subscriptions off. Hulu subscriptions, it was all zilch, out of here, gone because of the Jimmy Kimmel shit. Because that was wrong, that we could speak our First Amendment, which is freedom of speech. Jimmy did not really say anything wrong. I did not feel like enough to get fired. Not saying everybody's like, well, it has consequences. No, he did not say nothing bad, in my opinion. Not to the stance to get fired. Okay? But you see they gave him his show back. Absolutely. Good. Best thing for you to do, Disney. Disney said, we love you, Trump, but we ain't trying to lose that money. Felt that.
He had it coming. He had it coming. He only had himself.
Jimmy Kimmel's show is going to be airing on Tuesday. Disney folded, but that does not mean it's going to be on your screen specifically. So let me explain it. So Disney and Jimmy have been in talks all weekend, and they said that they came to the conclusion that they are over it. They're going to give him the show back. They also have been reported to have lost about $3 billion in revenue over the weekend, with people unsubscribing, people canceling trips, all and the bad press. It just wasn't worth it. It was the topic of the weekend, and they didn't want any smoke. Now, there are two other parties, and when it comes to this deal, there is Sinclair, there is Nexstar. They run the local channel. So ABC can put Jimmy Kimmel on, but these two need to pick up that show, and they can decide not to. They both said that they were going to air Charlie Kirk's funeral, and they both didn't do that. So you don't really know what to expect, but there is some background information I want to give you so that you can kind of see all the inner workings of what's happening. So Disney has a deal that's on the table that they would require the FCC's approval, and that is with a network called Fubo. They require the FCC to sign off on that. So they're putting that at risk when they took on Jimmy. So whatever that deal is, they feel like Jimmy Kimmel, the backlash that he wasn't worth it. So that's sort of how they weighed it out. Now, when it comes to Nexstar, they have a deal to buy Tegna, another network conglomerate that they want to buy for $6.2 billion. That requires the FCC approval. It also gets them really, really close to a market cap, and they would also like to change the market cap as well. The same is with Sinclair. Sinclair doesn't have any deals on the table, but they also would like a change to the market cap and a change to some rules that the FCC has. They've been outspoken about Jimmy Kimmel. They demanded that he apologize and donate money to the family and donate money to his nonprofit. And so it's going to be a game of chicken, and ABC put the ball in their hand and said, what you going to do? You going to show the show or not? Also, you understand that ABC owns Hulu. They could just have it streaming. I'm sure that's probably where they get majority of their views. When I watch Jimmy Kimmel, I just watch it on YouTube and I just watch the monologue. I don't really care for the interview unless it's really, really good. So we all know that that's sort of the modern way things are going. But it looks like Disney folded and the protest worked. Also, Turning Points USA, Charlie Kirk's nonprofit, is pushing for Nexstar and Sinclair not to pick up that show. So we will see on Tuesday how this goes. But I can't imagine they don't, because those ratings are going to be through the roof.
Boy, that didn't take long for ABC to back down. Jimmy Kimmel will be on the air tonight. They capitulated to public pressure. See, when you have the numbers like Jimmy did on public opinion, and you have what's right on your side, you're going to win in most cases. And in this case, this is exactly what it is. Another big L for Donald Trump. The loser loses again. Share your thoughts below and follow me for more.
All right, Trumpers, come and get me. Hey, listen, Jimmy Kimmel is coming back. I guess Donald Trump didn't win after all, and I definitely appreciate all my Democratic friends out there boycotting Disney and boycotting Hulu. I guess that woke Disney up, which it should have, to bring him back and not let the Trump administration think they can do whatever they can. I mean, how do you feel if you're Donald Trump sitting up there talking all this shit on Air Force One and all this shit about Jimmy Kimmel, and now you failed again? You lost because the American people stood up and said, hey, this is not okay. This is not all right. And they boycotted Disney. They boycotted Hulu. They boycotted going to Disney. Multiple people wrote in about it. And listen, Trump ain't all he thinks he is. He's a loser. He's a failure. He'll go down as the worstest president in history. I'm sorry that you voted for him. If you're a MAGA listening to this, I'm sorry that you did. I'm sorry you fell into that trap. But listen, America will always beat Donald Trump. And by Jimmy Kimmel coming back to his late night show, that just goes to show you how much we can beat the Trump administration. And we actually still do have a voice. And the Trump administration is going to go down as the worstest president in history by far. MAGAs, see ya.
You see what happens when we stand together? Jimmy Kimmel is being reinstated into his show, and that's because of y'all resisting. Canceling your memberships and saying absolutely not was the way to go, because ABC and Disney lost billions of dollars. That just goes to show you, when you talk with your money, shit starts to move. Now just imagine if we did that for everything we wanted. Imagine if we all said, nah, we're not shopping at all. Imagine if we decided, let's shut this whole thing down until we get what we want. President getting on the TV saying he hates you? Shut it down. Republicans saying they're taking away health care? Shut it down. Cuts to the underprivileged? Shut it down. No increases on minimum wage? Shut this bitch down. It's becoming more clear every day. The way to get your way is to shut it down. Money talks, bull runs a marathon, and I'm not here to race.
Jimmy Kimmel is back on air tomorrow night, but don't get it twisted. He's not back because Disney wanted him back. He's back because people forced their hand using the same tactics we know as BDS. Here's what happened. After Kimmel criticized conservatives over Charlie Kirk's assassination, Disney suspended him. Affiliates like Nexstar and Sinclair pulled his show. The FCC threatened Disney's license. That's top-down pressure. But none of that explains why Kimmel is suddenly back. The real pressure came from below. Viewers canceled Disney Plus subscriptions in droves. Hashtags like Cancel Disney Plus trended for days. People flooded social media, pulling their money and their attention. That's what made Disney panic. Not the FCC, not the affiliates. The grassroots backlash hit their bottom line. And that's exactly how BDS works. Boycott. Refuse to support what you know is wrong. Divestment. Cancel subscription. Pull investment. Cut ties. Sanctions. The pressure created by collective action. It's not governments. It's people. It's ordinary consumers taking power back through economic resistance. So Kimmel's return is proof. When people organize, when we boycott and divest together, we can force even the biggest corporations to back down. That's the lesson of BDS, and it's playing out right in front of us. Now let's apply it in the same way, with the same intensity, to save the Palestinian people's lives in Gaza and the occupied Palestinian territories.
By now, I'm sure you and everyone else knows that Jimmy Kimmel is coming back on air tomorrow, Tuesday, September 23rd. But I want to show you what Charlie Kirk's friend and also the producer of his show posted. He said, Disney and ABC caving and allowing Kimmel back on the air is not surprising, but it's their mistake to make. Nexstar and Sinclair do not have to make the same choice. Now, let me break that down for you. Unless you live in a big city, there is a very high chance that your TV news station is owned by an ABC affiliate station like Sinclair Broadcast Group, like Nexstar, like Tecna. They own all the local TV stations. They've been buying them up for the last 15 years. They're also very conservative. Anyway, they are in the process of a merger right now, not between themselves, but they are in the process of merging. Nexstar is trying to merge with Tecna. It's worth billions and billions of dollars. They are literally breaking the law to merge, and that is why they are kissing the FCC chair's Brendan Carr's ass right now for Trump and for the FCC to allow this merger to go through. So even though ABC, which is owned by Disney, said, yes, Jimmy Kimmel, you're coming back tomorrow, is Sinclair and is Nexstar going to say, okay, yeah, he's coming back? I don't know, because I don't think they want to piss off Trump. So we're going to see how they respond. I know they've been asked for a comment in response to Disney, but nothing has been said yet. So I'm definitely going to keep my eye on that. And if you really want to dive down the rabbit hole, there's like a story I posted 3 or 4 days ago. It starts off with follow the money. Go watch that video. Go watch that video, because you are going to learn that if this merger goes through, Nexstar and Tecna, they are going to reach 80% of U.S. television households, okay? They are going to be reaching that many households, all pushing out the same thing, because there is a law in place that only allows 39%. You know what? Just go watch the video. Go watch the video. And as always, thank you for watching The Mexican Millennial.
So Disney reversed their decision and they are bringing back Jimmy Kimmel because why? What was the reason? Because of the boycotts. Boycotts work. That is the reason why they brought him back. They don't give a f about the First Amendment. I say it all the time. Corporations, tech billionaires, they have no loyalty to this country. All they care about is money, so you have to speak their language. You should care about the First Amendment, though, because without it, you don't have any other rights. And I know a lot of you didn't start paying attention to this until a white famous guy got taken off, but they've been assaulting our First Amendment. That's what those college campus crackdowns were for. That's the reason why they're making sure TikTok is being taken over by right-wing Zionist billionaires. Because we need to ensure that Beijing can't control what we see, but Tel Aviv can. So good job, everybody. It worked. But you should keep boycotting Disney because they are on the BDS list. There is still an active genocide happening right now with your money in Gaza. And speaking of the BDS list, if you're an American,
you should be asking your lawmakers why they were just in Israel being told by their lawmakers to ban our speech in our states. That's right, folks. Your lawmakers just went to Israel so they could get told to ban BDS across the U.S. So I'm gonna need you to wake up and care about that too. That is also a violation of the First Amendment. I made this video a couple days ago when he was still off the air, and it's so relevant, so I'm gonna attach it here. Okay, so the energy that you brought to Disney, we're seeing mass cancellations of Disney Plus, people's Disney cruises. This is the energy, folks, okay? Now, I really wish that you would have done all this canceling of Disney as we've been asking you to for 2 years because they are on the BDS list and there's a genocide happening in Gaza. But you know what? Glad you're here. This is also a good reason to do it because there is an assault on free speech and our First Amendment in this country. And if we don't have that, we have nothing. Like, for those of you short-sighted folks that keep being like, oh, it wasn't that big of a deal. It's not that deep. They have a right. The government, the FCC chick, threatened them. That is quite literally a violation of the First Amendment. What about when Roseanne got canceled? That wasn't the government. I also need some of you to do a system update on your mental computer because this isn't the Reagan administration, okay? The degree to which the government has been captured and infiltrated by the elite class, billionaires and the corporations is oligarchy. That's what we're living with. Some of you need to understand that your rights don't get taken away all at once. They are precedents that get set. Censorship is already out of control in this country, and this was just the latest escalation. It is a reminder of the power of organizing and what can actually be accomplished if people actually come together to do so. And boycotts are one of the most effective ways to hold people and companies accountable because all they care about is money. Like, I need you guys to remember that. We live in a capitalist, late-stage empire hellscape that is crumbling before our eyes. The only thing, let me repeat, the only thing that any of these people in power care about is money. Boycott them for firing Jimmy Kimmel, great, but also you should be boycotting them anyway because they're complicit in the Palestinian genocide. Free Palestine, Disney.
She's back.
America, you showed up and showed out this weekend. Jimmy Kimmel is getting his show back, and it only took us 5 days to make that happen. I'm so proud of everyone who was in my comments throughout the past 48 hours stating how they canceled their subscriptions, how they canceled vacations. I'm just proud of everybody out there because we could not have done it if we didn't all band together and unite to take down Disney. They caved under pressure and they reinstated Jimmy's show back, and it's so good to see. Now, of course, we know they didn't do it because it's the right thing to do. They know that their pockets were starting to hurt immediately, and that's why they took action so fast. It appears, just from a statement I saw from them, it seems like they were in talks throughout the past couple days, and they came upon the agreement for him to come back to the show now. I know personally, if he were the only person affected by it, I really don't feel like he would go back. But of course, he's thinking of all of his crew members, and I think that's why he made the decision to go back. I think I heard somewhere he's thinking about if he's going to want to renew for the next few years once his contract is up, which I think he should, because I feel like if they're going to do this to you once, like what else is going to follow? One little silly joke that wasn't even that big of a deal made them do all of this. And Disney and ABC bowed down to Trump and the FCC. But time will tell with that. It's just really great to see that we were able to make things happen so fast. And like I said, you guys, you have to give yourselves a pat on the back. You could say, if you canceled your subscription, you could say that you had a hand in this. Just because your subscription is $10 and you feel like, oh, I'm just one person, your withdrawal from Disney Plus, your unsubscription, helped to make a difference and helped to make change. And you stood up to Disney and said, hey, I'm not going to allow this to happen. And you spoke with your dollars. Like many of the videos I included tonight said, we will have to speak with our dollars to these corporations. They don't want to hear our outrage because they're used to having outrage. They will only listen to us if we take back our dollars, and then they will cave under pressure at that point, because once they don't have those dollars, they can't be successful. So I am so happy and again so proud of everyone out there, to those who have families with young children, to those who were planning trips to go for weddings and bachelorette parties and just birthdays, all kind of occasions. I'm just so proud of each and every one of you because you could have just been like, oh, I'm just one person or we're just a group and just have all of your plans in place now. Of course, now a lot of people have decisions to make as to if they're going to continue with their boycott or are they going to wait to see how things play out within the next few days, maybe a couple weeks to see if they're going to reinstate their subscription. So definitely let me know down below if you're going to continue to boycott or are you going to eventually just get your subscription back? I'm definitely wanting to know. I always want to hear you guys' opinions, but anyway, it's going to be a highly anticipated show tomorrow. I think it's going to get a lot of ratings. Now, unfortunately, as a couple of the videos mentioned, is that if you live in a small town, possibly could be even big cities, just depends on, I guess, what stations may be on the affiliates. Now, Nexstar and the other company do ultimately hold the decision as to if they're going to allow Jimmy to be aired or not, whether or not ABC has him and his regular time slot, those two companies could still decide whether they want to air him to those local stations or not. So that is a bummer to those who may be affected by that. Hopefully, if those companies want to save face, I mean, even though we know it's only because of money, if they want to save face and stand up to Trump, they'll air the show tomorrow night and for the rest of the nights coming up as well because they don't want another boycott headed their way, even though I feel like a lot of people are trying to take that avenue to trying to boycott those companies. It is a lot more difficult because who knows what entities they may own or they may be affiliated with, but it may be possible and something that everyone should at least look into. This is great. It just means that we all need to stick together, you all, no matter how big or how small a company may be. Our dollars are our voice, and our voice has power. And we took our power back into our hands with this. Ever let that thought escape your mind? We can do anything. Now, if we could do this, if we could help get Jimmy's job back, we can vote in the 2026 midterm elections to get a lot of these officials out of their seats. We can totally do this. We need to start getting everybody in our families and our friends and even our friends' friends and our friends' families. We need to get them prepared and ready to vote. It may be early, but we need to make sure everyone is registered. We need to make sure that everyone's, important information for them to be able to vote is intact and up to date because I'm telling you guys, and I'm going a little bit off topic, but it matters because it speaks to what we can do as a nation or the majority of the nation because we know MAGA isn't a part of this, but it speaks to the fact of what we can do if we all band together to stand up against something. But just make sure all of your people in your life have their voter registration up to date. If you have kids or relatives that are about to be 18 and of age, tell them to register to vote now. Don't have them wait until it's the next presidential election. We have to get ready now because if we can do how we did to boycott Disney and have them make changes this fast, if we could get a lot of these racists and bigots out of the House and out of the Senate, we could do a lot more things in the future. We will not be able to be underestimated. Again, you guys, I want to give everyone their props out there. We did it. You did it. We could not have done it if it were not for each other and we didn't ban. And let's not forget all of our friends from around the world. There were many people in the comments of my last video from other countries stating that they canceled their subscriptions and they were canceling vacations and everything. So let's give a shout out to people around the world because we couldn't have done it without them either. Remember, Disney is a worldwide company. It's different than Target, a little bit different than Tesla. The gravity of Disney is worldwide, like I said in that other video. So we got to thank our friends, especially our neighbors and friends to the north in Canada. They will always be our biggest allies. If you're Canadian and you're watching this, we love you. Don't let Trump and his minions affect your views on how Americans really are because they don't represent Americans. Definitely still boycott American products to show them you mean business. But we love everyone around the world, and we appreciate you guys standing with us because this was major. So we couldn't have done it without our international friends either. But anyway, you guys, let me know what you think about this down below. Do you think that you will be canceling your subscription? Like I said, do you think that this was all about money? Of course we know, but want to still hear your thoughts down below. Do you think he's going to have to worry about being censored in the future? Do you think everyone's going to keep an eye on him now that this has happened? Sound off down below because I want to read the comments. And that's pretty much all I have. Thank you guys so much for watching. And definitely give me a like and subscribe because that will really help to support the channel. And that will help get this video out into the algorithm and help people be aware of what's going on in the country. But other than that, thanks once again, you all, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye. See you later.